Imagine running a business so powerful that it makes $3 billion a year, outsmarts the government, and operates in over 40 countries, all while staying in the shadows. This was the empire of Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, one of the most successful yet dangerous business minds in modern history. He had it all: mansions, private jets, even zoos with tigers in them. But how did he do it? What made his empire so financially bulletproof? And what ultimately led to his downfall? Today we're breaking down the business brilliance behind El Chapo's cartel. This is some real-life Scarface stuff. So you want to be a drug kingpin, huh? You think it's all about guns and fast cars? Think again. This is a business, and just like any business, it's all about the bottom line. And nobody understood that better than El Chapo. The man was obsessed with efficiency. Think about it, most drug traffickers, they're buying their product from someone else. They're at the mercy of suppliers, middlemen, all these guys taking a cut. Not El Chapo. He went straight to the source, man. We're talking about those coca farms in Colombia. He cut deals directly with the farmers. No middlemen, no extra costs, just pure profit. This is straight out of the Amazon playbook. Remember when Amazon started selling their own products? They cut out the retailers, controlled the entire process, and boom, they became $1 trillion company. El Chapo, he was doing the same thing with cocaine. He controlled everything from the coca leaf to the street corner. That's power, man. That's how you build an empire. And don't think for a second that this was easy. We're talking about incredibly dangerous territory. Jungle airstrips, corrupt officials, rival cartels trying to take him down. But El Chapo, he thrived in that chaos. He was a logistical genius. He had submarines, man, submarines. This dude was shipping tons of cocaine right under the noses of the US Coast Guard. He understood that time is money. The faster he could get his product to market, the more money he made. He was always one step ahead, always looking for new ways to move his product. Tunnels under the border? Yeah, he had those. And eventually it all came crashing down. All right, so El Chapo's got the supply chain locked down, right? He's got the purest product, the fastest routes, the whole 9 yards. But here's the thing about empires. They don't stay small for long. You got to scale, and you got to scale fast. But how do you do that when your business is, illegal? Well, El Chapo, he took a page out of the corporate playbook. He franchised his operation. Think about it. McDonald's, they don't own every single restaurant, right? They let other people run them using their brand, their recipes, their systems. And McDonald's, they just rake in the cash. That was El Chapo's genius. He let smaller drug trafficking organizations operate under the Sinaloa Cartel brand. They got the protection of the most powerful cartel in the world, and in return, El Chapo got a cut of their profits and their loyalty. It was a win-win. As long as you weren't on the wrong side of him, that is. This decentralized structure, it was brilliant. It meant that even if one part of the cartel got busted, the rest of the network could keep on running. It was like cutting off one head of the Hydra. 2 more would grow back in its place. The feds could take down one of his lieutenants, but El Chapo himself, he was always one step ahead, always in the shadows. This is next-level business strategy, man. This is how you build an organization that can withstand anything. He created a system that was bigger than any one person, even himself, and that's what made it so difficult to bring down. The Sinaloa Cartel, it wasn't just a criminal organization, it was a family. A dysfunctional, violent, and incredibly profitable family. And El Chapo, he was the patriarch, the godfather, the man who held it all together. But even the strongest families have their cracks. And eventually those cracks would widen into chasms, leading to El Chapo's downfall. All right, so we've talked about El Chapo's supply chain, his franchise model, but let's get real for a second. What good is making billions of dollars if you can't spend it? This isn't some Pablo Escobar situation where you're burying cash in oil drums. We're talking about industrial-scale money laundering here. This is where El Chapo really separated himself from the pack. Think about it. You've got mountains of cash coming in every day. You can't just walk into a bank and make a deposit, right? The feds, they're going to be all over you. So what do? You get creative. You become a financial wizard. El Chapo and the Sinaloa Cartel, they were masters of money laundering. They used every trick in the book and then invented some new ones. Restaurants, nightclubs, real estate, you name it, they owned it. And they used these businesses to clean their dirty money, making it look like legitimate income. But Here's the thing that always blows my mind, the avocado scheme. Yeah, you heard me right, avocados. Turns out those little green fruits were the perfect cover for moving millions of dollars in drug money. Here's how it worked. The cartel would ship fake loads of avocados to the US. They'd create fake invoices, making it look like they were exporting millions of dollars worth of avocados. But in reality, those trucks were empty, or maybe they had a little bit of avocado in the front to throw off the dogs. The money they made from these fake avocado exports, it was clean. It looked like legitimate business revenue. They could then use that money to buy property, invest in businesses, or just straight up stash it away in offshore accounts. Genius, right? But it wasn't just about avocados. They used all sorts of creative methods: shell corporations, currency exchanges, even charities. He turned the Sinaloa Cartel into a multinational corporation, with tentacles reaching into every corner of the globe. He was playing the game at a whole other level, and the crazy part is he was winning. At least for a while. Now, let's talk about something else El Chapo understood. The power of branding. See, most drug lords, they rule through fear and intimidation. They want everyone to think they're the baddest dudes on the planet. And don't get me wrong, El Chapo was terrifying, but he was also smart. He knew that fear alone wouldn't be enough to keep him in power. He needed something more. He needed the people on his side. So what did he do? He built a brand. Not just any brand, though. He built a brand based on loyalty, generosity, and a twisted sense of social justice. Think about it. While the government was neglecting the poor in Sinaloa, El Chapo was there, building roads, hospitals, even churches. He was like the Robin Hood of the drug trade, taking from the rich Americans and giving back to the Mexican people. And you know what? It worked. People loved him, man. They saw him as a savior, a protector. They would hide him from the authorities, even risk their own lives to protect him. This is the power of a strong brand, even if that brand is built on a foundation of blood and cocaine. He understood that loyalty is a two-way street. You can't just demand it, you have to earn it, and he earned it by taking care of his people. He provided jobs, he built infrastructure, he even offered a sense of security in a world where it was in short supply. He created a cult of personality around himself, and that cult of personality protected him for years. He wasn't just a drug lord, he was a folk hero, a symbol of hope in a hopeless place. But just like any carefully constructed image, El Chapo's carefully crafted persona would eventually crumble, revealing the ruthless criminal mastermind beneath. So, we've talked about El Chapo's business genius, his logistical brilliance, his financial wizardry, and his mastery of branding. But we all know how this story ends, right? The man's in prison. So what happened? How does a guy this smart, this powerful, end up behind bars? Well, as they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And El Chapo, he fell hard, and it all boiled down to a few crucial mistakes that even a criminal mastermind like him couldn't recover from. First, he got cocky. He started believing his own hype. He wanted to be a celebrity. He did interviews with Hollywood actors, man. Sean Penn, he was practically begging for attention. And in the end, that's what did him in. It gave the authorities the break they needed to track him down. You can't be a ghost and a celebrity at the same time. You got to pick one. And El Chapo, he wanted it all. He wanted the power and the fame, and in the end, his ego wrote a check that his body couldn't cash. Second, betrayal. When you're at the top, everyone wants a piece of you. Everyone wants to be your friend, your confidant, your right-hand man. But loyalty? That's a fickle mistress. And as El Chapo's empire grew, so did the number of people who wanted to see him fall. His inner circle, the guys he trusted with his life, they started to crack. And when the time was right, they swooped in and took him down. Whether we like it or not, El Chapo built an empire using real business principles, and his rise and fall hold valuable lessons. Control your supply chain like Amazon, scale strategically like McDonald's, master financial flow like Wall Street. Build a loyal brand like Apple. If you found this breakdown fascinating, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into crime, business, and power. See you in the next one.